Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel. This is your Quilt As You Go series, and in this tutorial I'm going to demonstrate flower blocks number 9 and 10. If you are interested in doing this series, there will be a link below your YouTube screen for blocks 1 and 2. In that tutorial, all of the supplies that you will need will be listed. Now let's get started. This one I really like. This one was a lot of fun to draw. Now you can freehand draw all of this. You don't need to measure and be exact. You can do this in so many different ways. So over here, normally I have my largest one at the top. Well, I did it over here at the side, and then a medium, or this one looks kind of small, and then a medium. So you can mix it up any way you want. So you can draw little triangular shapes any way you want. They can be misshapen if you want. And then you just draw 3 little kind of scalloped areas here. So if you're one of those who wants to be exact, what did I do? Well, I measured mine, and this is approximately what I had. It was 3 inches across and 1 3/4 inches high. Now these don't have to be straight lines. You can even kind of curve them a little bit. Remember, you can make these misshapen if you like. And then over here, because this is 3 inches, I drew the bottom line 3 inches and then just freehand drew these little scalloped areas. The overall height is about 1.5 inches. Then on the next one, it's 2.5 inches across by 1.5 inches. 2.5 inches across by about 1 1/4 inches high. And the smaller one down here is 2 inches across by about, I think I have there 1 1/4 inches, and then 2 inches across and 1 inch. Now don't forget to use the grid lines if you need assistance. They're there to help you draw. So do all of your drawings again on the blue grid line side of your fusible web. Then you're going to cut your shapes out. Remember, you're cutting 1/4 inch away from your drawn lines on the outside. Then you're removing that paper off of the back, putting it on the back side of your fabric, the not so pretty side. Then you're going to cut on the drawn lines to get it ready to put it on your background fabric. Just a reminder for those of you who have a lot of scrap fabric, you don't need to go buy fabric. Just go through that scrap pile. Even if you don't feel like your fabrics match, it makes it more interesting. So normally when you're looking at a flower, it's green down here. Well, I chose blue check. It's my flower. And then this is yellow fabric, and it actually has a little bit of green and white in it. So again, lay them out any way you want, and then you can draw just a straight line if you want, 1 curve or 2 little curves, and then go ahead and draw your leaves any shape that you want. And a reminder, if you're using a heat sensitive marking pin, you want to fuse your flowers on first, then draw your lines. If you're using water soluble, you can you can draw the lines on and then do your fusing. And don't forget to go ahead and rip all of that paper off of the back. Now I'm just going to sort of back up just a little step because I don't think I talked about the stitching order. Remember, do your center stem first, then your shorter stems. I recommend this be a wide width stem. And then you have a medium width stem on your other shorter stems. Then use a narrow satin stitch for these. On the petals and the flowers, or I should say the whole flower, do the yellow part first. And I used a medium width satin stitch. Then do the base of the flower, and I used a medium width satin stitch. Make sure you refer to episode number 1. That's the first one where I show you blocks 1 and 2. I explain the size of those stitches. So if you're a little confused, you're not sure what I'm talking about, back up a few videos and everything will be explained in there. Once you've got everything done, the paper's off, then you want to go ahead and layer your fabrics like you've done in the past. You place your fabric for the very back of the block, pretty side down, then one layer of cotton batting, then your block. Place pins and then do your quilting stitches. And for a recommended quilt stitch pattern, you want to go to the very first video because I talk in a lot of detail about that. This is block number 10. And on this one I only drew 2 flowers because I made this one much larger. And I used June Taylor's scalloped edge templates. And I use those a lot. But remember, you can freehand draw your own scalloped edge. So for the big one up here, let me get my template, I used the 4-inch one up here, and then I used the 3-inch one down here. The circles, I know I drew really small circles there, but I wound up using a 2-inch circle and a 1-inch circle. Now that was my first design. Remember I told you I always sketch it out first, but then sometimes when I'm in the middle of it, I change my mind. So that first example I showed you, there's nothing wrong with that one, but I decided that I'm going to change it up just a little bit. I drew a 3-inch scalloped edge flower and used a 2-inch circle, and then 2 2-inch scalloped edge flowers, and then 2 1-inch circles. And remember, don't forget to use your blue grid line paper to help you draw everything. So you're drawing on the blue grid line side, and then you cut out 1/4 inch beyond the edge of your drawn lines. Then you remove the paper off of the back, put it on the back side, not so pretty side, of your fabric, then cut on the drawn lines, and then it's ready to be put on your background fabric. So here's what mine look like right here. So as you can see, the circle's really large. Well, I wanted it like that. Remember, you can make small circles. It's your flower, so you can draw it any way you want. I also decided to have one of the stems kind of start from one side and switch out and come over here. So that's another suggestion that you can do in some of your flower blocks. Again, do your center stem first using a wide width satin stitch, and your smaller stems using a medium width satin stitch, and then narrow on all of your leaves. And you can draw as many leaves as you like. Then up here on the flower petals and the circles, I used a medium stitch. And before you begin stitching, remember, put paper behind your block design. This helps to prevent the fabric from puckering while you're stitching. After you're stitching, then you're going to go ahead and remove all of the paper off of the back. Then it's time to layer everything. So here's the fabric for the back of the quilt. You're placing the pretty side down. You're looking at the back. Then one layer of cotton batting that is the same size as your flower block. You're going to center the cotton batting and the flower block in the middle. So you're having a little bit of fabric extending out past all edges. Then pin it together and do your quilting stitches. So if this is your first time watching the Quilt As You Go series and you haven't seen blocks 1 and 2, in that tutorial I explain all the detailed information, especially on doing the recommended quilt stitch pattern. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that you have decided to do this Quilt As You Go series. You will learn a lot about quilting and just sewing in general. Remember, if you're a little confused, always refer to the very first video on blocks 1 and 2. Everything is explained in greater detail there. That link will be listed below your YouTube screen in the description section. So scroll down, click on the down arrow or show more, it will expand open and you will see links. You'll also see links to other beginner sewing projects. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing! If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl, this is Manny, and this is Scotty. See you next time.